I live to jump one more time.
Ankle is a broken joint.
And not to mention
Yes, it
the
is.
egg whites that I just put in my throat, almost just came right out my ass.
Oh, man. He's going on his egg whites, he got on his egg browns. Thank you. Thank you.
And we're sorry.
Thank you very much. He's here.
That would have been bad for Rich, because he was right behind you.
Yeah, I know. I would definitely we're like, okay, I'll be right back. I'll be.
I mean, it's not a matter of time until something happens unlikely below me when I jump up.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Your days are numbered. Yeah. But I like you going all the way to the cliff on this one. You know, you're not going to stop early.
No.
Even though we know you've ripped your Achilles and other things, fuck it, you're in.
We're going until we rip something else.
You heard it here first, folks.
I don't mean my hot dog. A lot of hot dog shit going on yesterday, guys. I have a lot to talk about, so we started with Skyline Chili, and we devolved into every penis joke you could possibly think of. Yes. And you guys weren't not involved because the salmon pants came up, and so hot dogs naturally were included there.
Oh, so yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Well.
But we should take some questions if you
Hot dogs love salmon pants. Yeah, it's weird because we had such a classy opening and now you immediately brought it down.
Yeah. Oh, H! There's that. And also watch this. Cedar Point! No idea. Cedar Point's a theme park, but they love when I just say it like that.
What are you saying in response to Cedar Point?
Wow, that's awesome. That's exciting.
It is?
I haven't spent a lot of time in the state of Ohio, I have to say. Yeah, I think maybe I've been to Cleveland once. So this is exciting. And Columbus, what a town, what a place.
I'm loving it so far. I was telling people, like, I got in yesterday, and just it's a what I've seen so far, very charming town.
Yeah, it's a college town, you know.
Yeah.
Those Midwestern college towns are something special.
You may never have heard of the school here. It's called Ohio State. Are you?
The Ohio State?
Yeah. Somebody in our group, and I'm not going to name who, and it wasn't Rob, and it wasn't Matt, but they said backstage yesterday, and I honestly don't remember who it was because I erased it from my mind because I was filled with shame. And anybody who knows me knows that takes a lot. They said, this is the home of the Buckies?
No.
Yeah, they did. They said Buckies.
After this, I need to know a name and an address.
And
I
I corrected them, but I was shocked and appalled
Yeah.
that they didn't know it was the Buckeyes. And by the way, I tried last night. Where's the Buckeye lady? Yeah. Dude, these things are ugly. She makes Buckeyes.
What?
Chocolate and peanut butter. Have you guys ever heard of the Buckeye dessert?
They're actual eyes of a buck. Which is disturbing, but it's a chocolate, so.
Oh, yeah. These are so good.
Wow.
They're so good. I had them last night, and she was kind enough to offer me more last night. Like, no, I gotta save it today.
Okay.
Run out, get for one.
Get up one, sure.
Get one. Prove you're local.
Are these laced with anything?
God willing. Rob willing they are. Right?
Everything that's good in the world. You know, peanut butter and chocolate.
Oh my god.
Good, awful.
Is there pot in here?
There could be.
Man, if freedom had a flavor, you're in the middle of it. Oh my God.
You are a special human being. Don't stop doing what you're doing. You're changing the world one little brown eye at a time.
Thank you very much. That's delicioso.
I think about all the never mind. Matt lobbed that brown eye joke. My Rolodex of humor went like, it spun too fast, I hurt my head. I'll leave those for another day. All right, let's take some questions, shall we?
Let's do. Question time. Question.
Which side do you want, Robbie? Where are you starting?
Let's go here.
Okay.
Hi guys.
Hello.
So my question is, what is your favorite song from any movie soundtrack?
Oh
Let me ask you this. I have a follow-up question before you answer. Does it need to be a song that was made for that movie, or could it be a song that existed?
It could be a song that exists in the movie.
Okay.
Well, when I was a kid, I really loved The Breakfast Club. I knew every line in that movie. I saw it so many times, and I love the soundtrack. So, Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me. Is what comes to mind.
That's great. Yeah, dude, I can picture the movie as you're saying that. It's a classic. Let me think about that. That's a really good question, by the way. Favorite song? So, you know, what's funny is like, I collected soundtracks as a young guy. Like, I'd always buy.
What was your favorite soundtrack to go from a movie?
Well, this is going back a while, but I hadn't even seen the movie when I got into the soundtrack, but Animal House.
Oh, yeah.
We had the album, the soundtrack of Animal House, and then The Big Chill. We had that soundtrack.
Yeah, that's a good one.
First soundtrack I ever bought, and I still love it to this day, and I can't just pick one song because I love it so much. It was a 2-disc Forrest Gump soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's all those classics.
Oh, and Dazed and Confused. That was a great soundtrack.
All the Wes Anderson movies, the early Wes Anderson movies have good soundtracks.
Especially Rushmore. Rushmore soundtrack is just wall to wall.
Yeah.
And it's all Britpop, but
Yeah.
not songs they knew.
You knew right away,
Like,
yeah.
I knew the artist,
Yeah.
but they didn't know the song.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah. The Who, Cook When Molly's Away.
The Kinks.
Great song, Kinks,
I
yeah.
don't know, let's see.
If I had to pick one, I would go with the animated film Moana, but the song that the giant crab sings. Shiny? Is that what
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a great one. Yeah.
Okay,
What's his name from?
Jermaine Clement.
Yes,
Jermaine
yes.
Clement.
He's just a genius.
Genius.
Yeah.
Killer.
Okay, so I've got two answers here.
Okay.
One is a song that already existed, but it was used super well in the movie. And it's kind of apropos to Supernatural, actually. It's from Reservoir Dogs, Stuck in the Middle with You. Which the way they use that song
They
is...
should have named an episode after that
I
song.
know, they dropped the ball.
And they should have had you direct
I
it.
know, they dropped the ball.
Oh well. Next time.
And then the other song that I absolutely loved from a movie, it should have won an Oscar because it was nominated, it didn't win. It should have won because it's repeated throughout the movie numerous times, and every time you hear the song, you tap your feet. You love it. Like, you never get tired of hearing this song, which is the mark of a great song. So well written, so poppy. It was meant to sound like a period piece movie, a period piece song, which is challenging in itself, and they nailed that. And it's just a song that gets, when you see it, gets stuck in your head. I don't know if everybody knows this movie, but it's That Thing You Do. And the theme song for That Thing You Do was so catchy. And it got played like 5 times in the movie, and you were never sorry to hear it start. Like, boom, ta, ta, boom, ta, but every time. And it was written by that guy who wrote Stacy's Mom.
Right.
He died during COVID.
Fountains of Wayne.
Yeah. He died during COVID, far too young, in his mid-40s.
Yeah.
But he was in Fountains of Wayne and wrote Stacy's Mom.
Yeah.
And then wrote That Thing You Do. He got nominated for an Oscar for it. But so, I'm going to go, because that song was written for that movie, so that's my answer to that one.
Yeah.
Do you have one that you were thinking about?
Everything I do it for you from Robin Hood and Prince of Thieves.
Great song.
Very good.
That's what I'll ring when I call.
Yeah. And it's true.
All right, good question. All right.
Hi, my name is Christina, and first off, Matt, I hope you got your hot dogs yesterday. And secondly, my question is for Richard. If you could give Gabriel any other ending, what would it be?
Not die. Literally not die.
And just to answer your not question for me, I just got my 2 hot dogs right now.
I'm leaning in.
That's right.
Keep going. Yes, Andy. Robbie, are you proud?
Yes,
Good job,
Andy.
Richard.
First time.
Good job, Dada.
That quote is famous.
Hi there.
Oh wait, yes, so I give the answer. Yes, not die. Gabriel dies all the time. Every time he fights a brother, he dies. Don't fight your brothers, dude. Write him a strongly worded letter. Do something else. Act for somebody else to fight him, and it's always a bad move. Go ahead.
Hey guys, I'm Marianne from Stowe, Ohio, and I do have a husband here under duress that on your show, and now he's like, you are spending my retirement money on conventions.
We're thinking about you, buddy.
Yeah, but the good news is, almost everything you buy here in a few years will depreciate. So it's actually, Great long-term.
I didn't even know how much I spent on the auctions I won, so.
That's between you and your
I
Lord.
get to find out.
Rob.
Sorry, honey.
That's okay, sweetheart.
I did lie about how much I spent on Misha's adventure. I just want to let you all know. But on a curiosity question, so watching the show, you guys go to different cities. I saw Hudson, Ohio, which is right by Stowe, Canton, Sandusky. How do you pick the cities that you have on your shows? And do you ever do any kind of background research on them to make sure they're set up like the city?
You are referencing the program Supernatural that's set in various towns, am I correct?
Yeah.
We have nothing to do with where those are set. That's a writer decision. The writers who decide that, and I know a little bit from doing our podcast.
Yeah, we could give you an educated
Right.
answer.
And I know they do actually do some research on the towns.
Yeah.
Because they'll pick a town and it might be Jerry Wanick's hometown, and so they'll be sure to have the diner or something similar to what is in that town on that main street. It's not obviously everything was shot in Vancouver, so they're not going.
That's what's amazing that the production team did is they emulated these American towns in Vancouver. Everything was shot in exterior, was shot around Vancouver.
Right. They did a nice job creating small town, middle America up there. As long as you're okay with small town, middle America having a light drizzle most of the
All the time.
But no, in terms of how they picked it on a map, I actually don't know. That's a great question, and that's a question we will ask on Supernatural Then and Now, the next time we have the record.
Which is a podcast originally, a rewatch podcast, and we talk about each episode in order as we watch it for the first time.
Robbie, I can't afford a podcast.
Oh, but Rich, it's free.
Oh! I have no idea where to get podcasts, Robbie.
Wherever you get your podcasts. Rich.
Could you elaborate, Robbie?
Right, like Spotify or Apple or podcast places.
Podcasting. The town of all podcasts.
All podcasting. Yeah, so they, and I think sometimes, and I know this from our podcast, it might have to do with, there'll be a tale that they're retelling, or
Yeah, certainly in its early seasons, they would go to if they knew the origin story of where something started or where a story had come from.
a
they would-
ghost story.
Yeah.
They'll go to that place,
And I also believe they've used some of their own hometowns. I think Eric has used his hometown as a home base. So I think there's myriad reasons.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder what state that's in.
Oh wait!
That's not great if you believe it. I was lobbing you the
I
08.
wasn't paying attention.
I love how much pride Ohioans have of their state.
Thank you for the question. And keep listening to the podcast for a more detailed answer. All right. Yes, sir.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Yeah, well, I found it seems like the setup for reference that says an alternate universe when somebody's got to sing. What song would you choose to have somebody sneeze?
Oh, in the alternate universe, when you sneeze, a song comes out?
After you sneeze, you have to sing the whole song.
Okay. So, Robert, in your alternate universe that you created as God, by the way, the big jerk God who created a really dark alternate universe, no thank you. When people sneeze, they immediately have to sing an entire song. That's part of the sneeze.
Right.
What really awful song? I know what I would have them sneeze, but I'm not God.
Well, show me. Oh, everyone's got to sing that song.
Every time you sneeze, you have to sing that thing. You go achoo, you go you sing whatever. And by don't tell me, I want you to sneeze and do it.
Oh, man.
I'll start. Okay, I know this much is true. I know this much is not true.
Ice, baby. Ice,
was a fun question.
Good question.
Yeah, great
Not
question.
one we get a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
This is for Rob. I was wondering what band inspired you to start making music.
That's a great question. I was always inspired by music at a really young age. I was the youngest of 4 kids, so I listened to things that my older siblings were listening to. But then in the 80s, like MTV came out, and I started watching these videos and these bands, and I wanted to be that. I wanted to do that, everything from like Prince to like Def Leppard. You know what I mean? I wanted to be like those dudes, Bon Jovi. I wanted to be a band like that. As an adult, I've been really inspired by the band Pearl Jam. They're just a great live band. Eddie Vedder's lyrics are so poignant and good, and yet they still rock. And I'm inspired every time I see them. It makes me want to perform live and connect with a big audience on the same level that he seems to connect with these huge arenas, and how they do that. It's amazing. They're still doing it today.
Didn't you say that their new album is like...
It's fantastic. Yeah, it's really, they got a brand new album out. I saw them a couple weeks ago, and I'm still inspired by them. So, but really over the years, there have been so many bands that inspire me. I'm still searching for new music. I get inspired by music every day.
All right, let's go down that road. Give me, well, actually, I know what you're going to say, because you've talked about this before, but give me a new band, the Idols.
Yeah, Idols, this band, Idols. I'm really into this band right now. I'm a fanboy when it comes to music, so like, I get into a band, I get obsessed about them, and I'm watching this band, Idols.
So the rock then and now of music is Pearl Jam and currently Idols.
Yeah, I mean, it probably started with like Earth, Wind and Fire that my sister was listening to, all the way through MTV, Bon Jovi days.
Were you influenced at all by college radio, like REM?
All I listen to, yeah, all the time. I mean,
What was the college radio station in Columbus? Sorry,
Columbia. I'm from Columbia, Missouri. There was a university station.
Mizzou probably had one, right?
Yeah, Mizzou had one. But I knew about REM because they came and played at Mizzou. But right now, like my favorite station to listen to on Sirius XM is the Sirius XM-U, which is the college station on Sirius XM.
What?
Yeah, so they play. Yeah, so they play indie music.
Oh my God.
It's my favorite thing.
That was like, I grew up listening to WRBU,
Yeah.
Vanderbilt's radio station.
Yeah, and Chicago has some great ones too. Went to school in Chicago. So, I like independent music because they're so thirsty. There's so much energy there. They're making music and they're not commercial. They're not making it for a mass. They're making it for themselves because it moves them.
Right.
So, anyway, so much stuff. But I'd say Pearl Jam has really been the most influential on Loud and Swing.
Alright, I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, check out Pearl Jam.
Do you have a band you listen to currently?
Bad Omens.
Bad Omens? I don't know Bad Omens.
That's good.
I'm just telling you, Little Man came on stage last night and absolutely brought the house down. So he has rock star tendencies.
Sweet, man. That's awesome.
What did you think? He sang, what was it?
All Star.
All Star.
Hey, now you're an all-star?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
By himself, no chaperone.
Sweet, man.
Took the stage over. It was amazing.
Well
Yeah,
done, buddy.
check out Pearl Jam. I think you'll like them.
Yeah. And Idols.
And Idols, yeah.
Pearl Jam and Idols. That's your homework for next time. After your actual homework. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
This is for Matt. I think you'll appreciate this. I was looking at my YouTube feed this morning, and the first video that pops up, I kid you not, is about hot dogs. Shoved inside a really big pickle, and then battered and deep fried. And the best part, the person that uploaded is dong you very much. So
You are the question and the answer of this moment. A round of applause for us, ladies. You're sharing important facts, enlightening everybody. And did you say a hot dog shoved into a pickle?
yes, I didn't show it for the video though.
Thank fuck.
It looked like a
That's what we need to see.
It's early in the morning.
Yeah, I know.
That's a sexual innuendo we're not prepared to deal with here.
I gotta start everybody's morning off though.
It's good.
Well,
Except for the pickle.
you started it off somewhere.
The pickle who was busy facing the other direction didn't know what was happening. Got over the pickle.
Thank you very much.
Thank
It's
you.
good to know.
Now I know what I won't have for lunch. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Debbie, and I'm from Cleveland.
Hello, Debbie.
Hi. This is probably more for Rob. Or no, sorry, Greg. So, I know you guys were in Paris not too long ago. You guys were the pink for the ants. Can you give a little backstory on that?
Well, the origin of pants goes back to, I guess, the order the toga and the tunic were the order of the day back then. And at some point, somebody started doing yoga, I think, or something. And it was one of the downward-facing dogs with a breeze.
And they're like, Julius, you need to get cover your business.
Don't look at me like that. Oh, wait, that's not your eye.
Yeah.
And then they realized that they should create something that was fabric and would cover the individual appendages. And then I remember at that point it was Quintus Belt chimed in and he said, I have this rope thing that'll help hold them up.
You remember, so you were
I was
alive.
there. I was freshman when I was school at the time. And that, I'm pretty sure that's where pants come from.
Pantaloons,
Pantaloons, they called it back then. They were very fancy. And really it started with the, the wealthy.
Right. And everything back then was in black and white.
It was black and white, so you could only have two choices of colors.
All right, so around the 50s, they decided, hey, how about have life in color?
Right, exactly.
So then life was in color, and then, oh my God, we get a mini color.
We don't have to stick to black and white pants. And also, we look dumb in the pants with the tunic or the toga. Let's go with a more, I don't know, kind of a shirty thing.
Sure.
You're like, we cut this in half.
Right.
Then we just tuck it in,
Right.
and now we got a whole like ensemble
Right.
that is freeing yet also covering
Right.
in a way that is more appropriate. I mean, they had at this point they mastered indoor plumbing. It was time to take to the next level and add the sort of accoutrement feel clothing. Does that answer your question?
No, but
You're welcome. I said you're welcome.
thank you, I guess.
Yeah, that's the answer we strive for. Right there.
You made the mistake of asking Rich that question.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
So, first of all, Matt, I really hope you checked out Dirty Frank's Knock and Stiff Wieners yesterday for your hot dogs.
You gave him a hot dog stand?
Dirty Frank's Knock and Stiff.
Knock 'em Stiff is a city here, right?
City in Ohio.
Knock 'em Stiff.
I'm glad you pointed at me for the Knock and Stiff and him for the Wieners. There's a town called Knock and Stiff. Is there a town called Knock and Stiff?
And just imagine the owner of the hot dog stand is named Dirty Frank.
I'm gonna go that his name was actually just Dirty. He probably added it. Okay, so wait, just real quick follow-up question. There's a town in Ohio called Knock 'em Stiff.
Yes.
Is it happening next door to a town called Slap 'em Limp? Is there?
Well, good night, everybody.
Vincent Flaccid? Like, what is like? Is there a man whose name was Knock 'em Stiff?
I'm not.
No, you're close to this, sir.
I'm really laughing at the I'm stiff, and then to me, weird.
Why did that?
Yeah, not stiff. I wonder if stiff is another name for something else.
They couldn't call it
Like Wilson's Creek or something. You know what I mean? Like
Wilson Stiff.
not stiff.
Knock 'em Stiff, Wilson. Is that what you're saying? Add a name to it at the end?
Like knock was the name.
Is it somebody's name, Knock 'em? People, you have something to answer for here. What's the origin of the name Knock 'em Stiff?
It's all one word.
Knock 'em Stiff.
Yeah, it's all one word.
And
Knock 'em
they
Stiff.
changed it from knock 'em erect to make it more palatable.
Matthew.
I'm right.
We can't take
Knock 'em
Matthew
stiff.
anywhere.
It might be a yes, ma'am. We can go with that.
And they probably have hot dogs in their hand. Can you fill in the blanks there? I didn't hear what you said.
Well, we don't know this for a fact, but her dad grew up in Knoxville.
Okay.
And one of the stories it tells that two women were drunk in a bar and got into a fight, and they knocked each other into stiff. Knocked them stiff.
Double you knocked somebody stiff.
Yeah, like, you want me to do it? You hit them, and then they're like,
Okay. All right.
I'll go with that for now.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Our other options are dirty, so.
We'll go that way.
We'll also go with those options.
We'll go with everything. All right. Thank
I
you.
did actually have a question.
Okay, good.
I apologize, we got sidetracked. My question actually is, since we've established there are people in the audience who may have never seen a single episode, what episode through the 15 seasons would you recommend that would capture the essence of the show to somebody who's never seen it? And you can't say the pilot because that's hot.
Okay, I'm going to give you one little caveat. We will answer your question, but you need to know something. That honesty is very important and usually not a tactic we utilize. But if you added up all the episodes the three of us have seen, we still wouldn't be the entire run of the show. So we are way shy of knowing every episode. That said, you're saying if I wanted to introduce somebody to the show who's new, like, oh, watch this will get you hooked. Well, see, I would do French Mistake, because I like the funny
Well,
ones.
French Mistake, it might be the best episode, but does not really intro.
That's it.
I might vote for Swan Song at the end of season 5.
Oh, the recap.
Because it recaps
That's a
everything.
good one. Matt?
I would go with Baby, not only because I'm in it,
Yeah.
but because it's the boys in the car on the road. And that's a large part of our world, right?
There you
Car on the
go. So
road.
if you watch all three of those, they're going to have a good sort of
Pretty
reset.
good.
Yeah. There's a lot of good episodes,
Yeah, thank you.
of which I've seen very few.
Yeah, so I think you're like, a lot of great episodes, or so I've heard.
A lot of good ones.
Yes, sir.
If Chuck would be like the first God, the wrathful creator, do you think that would make Jack like the Jesus thing?
Yeah, I think Jack is probably a little more like Jesus. He's a nicer God. I don't know if he's straight up Jesus, but he's a nicer God. I think that was the point, making Jack God, is he's going to be a hands-off God. And first thing that happens is Jensen dies. Well, see, that didn't happen on my clock, my watch. And it wouldn't have. Show would have kept going. But nope, had like a new guy.
You're just literally throwing Al-Cal under a
Yeah.
bus.
No, but yeah, that was the idea, is that Jack was going to be a kind, hands-off God. And it did signal the end of the show. I'm just saying that was the one time it didn't.
If only we knew, they could find out, but we can't.
Yeah.
Great question. Thank you for bringing us all down. Next question.
Hey, how are you guys?
You know what? Just so you know, he can raise his arm up. You know, you're.
So my question is for Richard.
All right.
I'm a huge fan of Band of Brothers, and I want to know how you got into the mindset of somebody you've never met in Wisconsin, gone through something completely different than what you've experienced in your life.
An interesting question. So, for those who don't know, Band of Brothers is a World War II miniseries, and we're playing actual guys. Everybody in the series portrayed was an actual soldier who either made it out of the war or didn't. By the way, may I say, and this is I'm going to answer this question, but D-Day was 2 days ago. And I just want to say, if you are a member of the military, or have family who has served in the military, or has family who will serve in the military, there is no amount of thank yous we can deliver from the stage. It would be impossible. And if you are somebody who is interested in history, you cannot understand history of the West without understanding the conflicts of the West. The World War II is such a seminal event in all of Europe and all of America's existence up to this day, and you watch these young men. As my son gets older, and as your son gets older, and I see my son being, my oldest boy is 17, I can't help but think that he would be jumping out of an airplane behind lines of France in 1944. You know, what a horrific thing to have to do in order to secure peace, is to sacrifice your own sons and daughters. So those of you who are brave enough and kind enough to do that very task, remember, you can have an issue with the mission, but you can never, ever second guess the men and women who don the uniform to fight for our freedom. Because 1% of the people take 100% of the bullets so that idiots like us can stand on the stage and do what we do. So sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everybody who serves this and all the allied nations. Thank you very, very, very much. It was a fascinating job to get because we're playing a real person, and it's easy to make somebody a hero when you don't know them. And of course they're heroes, but you know what? And I'm not saying this to be obnoxious. They're also humans. They also had annoying traits, and they were, you know, annoying buddies. It's like if the three of us went to war and all perished in the process, our memories would be of our sacrifice, but our humanness is what made us who we were before we went on. And I think the challenge in Band of Brothers was to find the humanness of men who didn't make it out of the war. And I did that by talking to his buddies, by talking to Don Malarkey, by talking to Bill Gardner, by talking to Babe Heffron. And back then it was on the phone. I tracked down the family, I talked to the family a lot. There are things in Band of Brothers that were only discovered because I spoke to the family. And that's not patting myself in the back. We all did it. Everybody was doing it. Donnie was in touch with Lipton. Damien was in touch with Winters. Everybody was in touch with their veteran. And I would speak to the family of Skip Muck, and I would speak to his buddies. So a couple of quick things I'll share if you've seen the series. The scene in episode 6 where there's a mass going on in the snow, that's not in the script. We added that after Babe Heffron told us about how Skip insisted, he was a devout Catholic, and he insisted on having a mass before they went off on a march. And he said that line. Babe's like, Skip would then say, now if we die in a state of grace. So that's what I say in that moment. That's an actual scene. Skip talking about swimming across the Niagara River was not in the script. It was written in a letter to me from Skip's sister. She wrote that story. She's like, this is what he did before he shipped off. He said he swam across the Niagara River. So when I reference Sister Ruth, that's his sister. And when I reference his girlfriend, Faye, that was his real girlfriend. So we were able to take human events. Oh, and another one. In the script it said, there's a line in Band of Brothers where Malarkey runs in and says, Skip, where you been? I said, and the line in the script was, well, I was in Florida, but now I'm here. But I had done my research. And again, it's really, you have to go back, especially if you're younger, to understand you couldn't just Google things back then. I had to contact the Chamber of Commerce in the city of Tonawanda to figure out his origin story and track down his family and that stuff. And I didn't know he was from Tonawanda until Don Malarkey told me, because I'm like, well, I know he's from Florida, because the script says so. Don was like, no, he's not. He's from Tonawanda, New York. So Tom Hanks was directing that episode, and I went up to him and I said, it says Florida, but can I change it to his hometown, like his actual town? Tom was like, yeah, do what you want. So that's instead of that one written line, I said, I was home in Tonawanda, but then Hitler started this whole thing, so now I'm here. So we were able to put these moments in that were real for the guys because it mattered. When you're playing real people, regardless of who you might go off and play in the future, who Rob and Matt might play, or who I might play, but especially people you can't meet because they died, your job is to not interpret who they are. They already were. Your job is to get out of the way, to do your best to embody what they already accomplished, and be as honest about that as you can, and not add your own BS to it. So that was the exercise. It was like, how do you pull acting away and just be, so you can be that guy, and we can all be those guys and just interact with each other. Interesting Hollywood trivia note that I love about the Band of Brothers story. In the movie, I talk about how Skip swam across the Niagara River, which is a true story. The Niagara River is very violent. Those who don't know, if you don't make it across, you go over the falls, you're dead. So he wanted to prove he could do it before he shipped out to the military in a very turbulent time in the U.S. history. They sent a buddy with him in a boat. This I didn't find out till later. They sent a buddy with him in a boat, in a rowboat, to paddle alongside him, so that if he got tired, he could grab onto the boat. In that boat was a young man who also served in the war named Fritz Nyland. And the name Fritz Nyland doesn't mean anything to any of you, but they made a movie about it. They made a movie about Fritz Nyland. They just changed his last name to Ryan, and Saving Private Ryan. The Nyland brothers were the 5 brothers that all served in the war. They pulled Fritz out because his 4 brothers died. And Fritz and Island, and Skip Muck grew up together, and went across the Niagara River together before they both shipped out. And I think that's a crazy piece of Hollywood trivia that happened in a tiny town on a specific night and a specific day before a specific event. I just find it fascinating. Anyway, thank you for your question.
Thank you so much.
Right there.
Hi, I'm a huge fan of the podcast, and I have a process question for Richard, but I'm happy to hear from Rob and Matt too. There's so much violence in Supernatural and so many stunts. What's it like to direct and craft that in the pressure cooker of network television and that tight timetable?
Well, I'll give my version of an answer, and then Matt can chime in. You know, the violence is it's very carefully planned out, storyboarded. There's only so much. We were talking about this yesterday, I think. There's only so much you can show on TV, and so many angles you can use. And you know, you can show this much. It's a very gory show, but there's still limitations to what we can achieve, what we're allowed to do. So they know the standards and practices. By the time I came on to direct, and Matt came on to direct, they've been doing it a decade, so they knew. But you storyboard it because it's usually a practical effect and/or a visual effect, and those cost time and money. So you can't just go in with no plan and go, I think the head will fall here. It has to be very specific. You have to know for safety reasons and for time reasons who's got the blade, what blade you're going to use, because inevitably, if I'm going to cut Matt's head off, I'm going to have 3 different blades. I'm going to have a blade that's shiny, so the lights reflect off it, that I'm over here with. I'm going to have a plastic one, or a rubber one, that when I get near an actor, if I were to trip and fall, it wouldn't hurt him. But it would hurt him if I swung it at him. Then I'll have one that's just the hilt of the sword. So I can go like that, and there's nothing on it. There's no hilt. They'll add the blade digitally later. And then you shoot Matt there, and then you shoot, Matt steps out, and Matt goes away, and you shoot a plate with no Matt. You do all these various specific shots. So it actually is the least flowy. You know, a fight scene and like acting can be very flowy. These are very bit by bit by bit because you have to tell this story so specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to add to that. That breaks it down pretty perfectly. I think the more planning you do in any kind of fight or action sequence or horror moment is very important, especially when you're dealing with knives and stuff. But you just want to make sure that, like, when you close your eyes and you can see whatever it is you're trying to tell, the story, the event, the moment, that you get all of the pieces of it. Because like Rich said, right, if there was a camera right here, and he's coming at me with a sword or a knife, you know, and my head's turned away looking at him, then you don't know the fear in my face, so you need another camera on this side, and then maybe a camera here just following the blade as it enters in, and then it could be a stunt guy holding it with the same jacket as the character. It's just a lot of careful planning so we don't have accidents, right?
Right.
And we can move forward at a TV production pace, which is absurd.
Right. Planning is the key.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
How are we doing tonight?
We're
Doing
doing well.
great.
Okay. I just want to say we need more of those salmon pants content.
More Santa
Well,
Fe.
we have other pictures. We did take a lot of pictures. And for those that don't know what we're talking about, Rich and Matt and I were at the Paris convention in Paris last weekend, and we came in. We thought for some reason we worked on Friday, so we came in ready to work Friday. It turns out we didn't have to work on Friday, so we found ourselves in Paris with a day off, and the French Open just happened to be playing like an hour walk away from our hotel. So we decided we would get a ticket and go, and we would dress for it. So we went to a department store and we found 3 pairs of salmon pants that each fit us really well.
Off the rack, man.
Off the rack, 3 different sizes, and hats that said "Daddy Cool."
Yeah.
And we're like, well, obviously this is our outfit.
And it was one of the most fun days I've had in a long time.
It was super fun.
And watching tennis at that level, we were excited like kids on Christmas morning. Like shopping for an outfit for the tennis match was almost as much fun as the tennis match.
And walking there an hour, and when you're near our hotel, we went by a group of school kids. We're all like, what's up with this pink pant dudes? You know, because no one knew why. And then when we got closer to the stadium, it was like, oh, they're going to the Open.
Right. Other people are dressed up.
Yeah, but it was super fun, and yeah, they were snug. I'm not gonna lie, they were a bit snug, but it's good. We liked them. I'll wear them again.
I'll wear them again, and snugger on some of us than some of us.
Yeah, and a little revealing for Rich, you know.
Are you criticizing my booty?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call it a critique. It's more of a, it's a compliment.
Yeah, it's more of a, how do you do?
An endowment behind.
Good to see you. We tried on the pants.
When they use you.
We tried on the pants. We all come out to the mirror, and Rich's fit really well, and you could see everything that he was working with. And I was like, come on, man. We're just trying to have a good time here. Why do you have to do that?
It was a perfect movie montage moment because there were 3 dressing rooms and only 3 pair of pants, and they happened to be in our 3 sizes. And Robbie and I would pop out. There's a mirror.
Yeah,
and I'm
it was like a montage.
like, wow, shit, they fit. And Robbie pulls up right Rich. And Robbie just, come on, man.
Good, clean fun.
You ruined it for everybody.
Did you say we're just trying to have a good time?
Trying to have a good time here. Come on, man.
It was classic. So thank you for extending the legend of the Salmon.
Yes,
By the way,
I'll post more pictures.
Yeah, I expect more pictures today, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Listen, that's our time for today, but we're here all weekend. Thank